Welcome to another week of virtual school. And this week I'm going to be bringing you some grammar, just what you've been waiting for. You were probably hoping I'd taken it permanently off the to-do list last week. Anyway, little break and now we're back at it. I do not expect you to be a professional at this, a professional grammarian. Scholar after this. This is a first exposure, a front loading of information, and I want you to just be fully present for this first 10-15 minutes and try to understand and get out of it what you can and really try to follow along and really apply yourself. And remember, you're going to get out of it what you put into it. So if you kind of half-heartedly go through this, you're not going to get the full amount out of it that you would otherwise. So try to go along with me. I'm going to try to make this as easy as possible, and we'll go from there. So we're going to start with chapter 7. It's lesson 1, and we're on gerunds. And in your grammar book, I'd like you to follow along. I'm on page 170. So please read along and maybe put yourself in a place in your home where you can fully concentrate. Here's the idea. A verbal is a word that is formed from a verb and that acts as a noun, an adjective, or an adverb. There are 3 kinds of verbals: gerunds, participles, and infinitives. And so today's lesson is going to go over gerunds. Tomorrow it's going to be participles, and Wednesday it's going to be infinitives. So today we're just worried about the gerunds, and it's a type of verbal. A gerund is a verbal that ends in ing and acts as a noun. A gerund phrase consists of the gerund with its modifiers and complements. Like nouns, gerunds and gerund phrases may be subjects, predicate nouns, direct objects, indirect objects, or objects of prepositions. So they can play different parts in the sentence. So the first one, our gerund phrase, is loud barking of the dogs. The loud barking of the dogs woke up our neighbors. The gerund is barking. And the little way to find that gerund is to look for the ing. And then the gerund phrase is going to be everything around that that makes that gerund complete. So the loud barking of the dogs woke up our neighbors. Barking is your gerund, and the gerund phrase is loud barking of the dogs. And in this case, in that sentence, it's acting like a subject. What woke up the neighbors? The loud barking of the dog. So that whole phrase is the subject of the sentence. Using gerunds as a subject, here they're going to use the word herding, and in this case, it's a subject. Herding is something that border collies do well. As a predicate noun, it's going to rename the subject. It is their running that directs other animals. It equals running. These dogs like working. There's our ing word. What's liked? Working. It's a direct object. They give herding their full attention. Attention is what's given. That's the direct object. Then you look for that ing word, herding, and that is receiving full attention, so that makes that the indirect object. And then object of a preposition, they are expert at controlling sheep and cows. And here you look at controlling, that's the ing word, and it follows a preposition, which makes that an object of the preposition. Why does it matter in writing? Look at the bottom of page 170 and read along with me. Gerunds are good words for describing activities because they imply action. Notice how the writer of the sentence below used gerunds and gerund phrases to discuss the many activities of beavers. Felling timber and ornamental or orchard trees, damming ditches and culverts, digging and tunneling, and eating food crops make the beaver an unpopular neighbor. So in that model, that professional model, it shows you how the gerunds and the gerund phrases can add depth of meaning and action to the sentence. Page 171, let's do some of these. Number 1, horseback riding has many benefits for people with disabilities. So in that one, I'm going to look for the ing. The gerund is riding, and the type of riding, it's horseback riding. That makes that the gerund phrase. Number 2, People with physical or emotional problems can enjoy moving around. The gerund, if you said moving, you guessed it right. That's your ing word. And then moving around would be the entire gerund phrase. Number 3, one horse named Silver was especially good at walking slowly and carefully. So I search that sentence, I find the ing word, it's walking. That's my gerund. Then my gerund phrase will include walking the gerund plus any other modifiers, and in this case, walking slowly and carefully. Number 4, waiting took patience, but Silver let the teachers lift a woman named Maria onto his back. Waiting, that's my ing word. That's the gerund in that sentence. Number 5, when Maria started writing, she had never walked in her life. And the word with the ing, the gerund, is writing. Okay, I'm going to stop there and I'm going to direct your attention now to the worksheet on my iPad here. And a verbal is a word that is formed from a verb but acts as a noun. So it's formed from a verb but acts as a noun, an adjective, or an adverb. And we just heard that gerunds are one type of verbal, and that tomorrow we'll be doing the participle and then the next day the infinitive. So there's 3 different types that we're going to go over. A gerund is a verbal that ends in ing and acts as a noun. So you want to come back to that and take a look at that. A gerund phrase consists of the gerund with its modifiers and complements. Alan enjoys singing more than acting. Those 2 words are my gerunds. He feels that singing well is impossible without lengthy training. That's my gerund phrase. Training is my gerund. Singing well is my gerund phrase. Singing is my gerund. In sentences, gerunds and gerund phrases may be used anywhere. Nouns may be used as a subject. Singing requires good breathing. As a predicate nominative, my favorite activity is singing. Activity equals singing, predicate noun. As a direct object, I love singing. What's receiving the love? Singing. That's your DO. As an object of the preposition, here's my preposition. The word that follows is my object of the preposition. In this case, it's singing. Rebecca takes lessons in singing. As an indirect object, I give effort. What receives your effort? The singing. That is the indirect object. If we look here, we can find some gerunds. Playing guitar well takes a great deal of skill. Playing. Elena has a knack for composing ditties. Composing. Francine likes performing for an audience but hates practicing. Performing. Practicing. That one has 2 gerunds. Number 4, Morgan isn't interested in playing in an orchestra. Number 5, developing an ear for music takes time and careful listening. Okay. Number 6, Dale's goal is touring with a rock band. Touring. Okay. Let's look here. Let's go down to this one. Thomas likes listening to classical guitar. Here's our gerund. Then we've got to ask ourselves, is that a subject, predicate noun, direct object, or an object of a preposition? Thomas likes listening. What does Thomas like? He likes listening, and that's receiving the action of the verb. So in that case, it's a DO. Number 2, he's interested in learning to play but needs a teacher. Look here, in learning. That makes that an object of the preposition. Number 3, his least favorite activity is playing scales. Activity equals playing. In this case, it is a predicate nominative or noun. Number 4, While fixing the engine, the mechanic played a classical music station. While is your preposition. Fixing is my OP. So that's an OP. Number 5, winning is not the only reason to enter the contest. Winning is reason. So winning in this case is acting as the subject. Number 6, Gina enjoys studying with a real artist. Studying is my gerund, and Gina enjoys. What's being enjoyed? The direct object is receiving the action of the enjoyment. So number 6, studying, direct object. Number 7, is practicing 2 hours a day enough? So practicing, and then this is one of those times where it's a question, so we rewrite it in a statement. Practicing 2 hours a day is enough. Practicing equals enough. So in this case, it's the subject of the sentence. Number 8, Devana's goal equals entering, predicate nominative. Number 9, in music and comedy, timing is everything. Timing equals everything. Timing is our subject. Number 10, the school solved the schedule conflicts by creating a new class. By creating. Creating in this case is our gerund, and it follows a preposition, so it is an OP. I'm hoping this is starting to make a little sense for you. Now we can use gerunds to change the sentence around. Rewrite each sentence, change the bold-faced word or words to a gerund. You may need to alter some of the words in the sentence. Number 1, to play bluegrass has always been my goal. How can we change that to a gerund? We're going to add ing. Playing bluegrass has always been my goal. Number 2, I was afraid to have him as a teacher. And then you could change to have into having. I was afraid of having him as a teacher. So to have can be changed to having. Number 3, to find. If you said finding, you have got it correct. The difficulty is finding time to practice. Number 4, to spend. How can we change that and add an ing? Spending time with friends is important. And number 5, he knows it is a sacrifice to work so hard. He knows it is a sacrifice to work so hard. So we could change this. He knows, you could actually put it right here. He knows working so hard is a sacrifice. He knows working so hard is a sacrifice. Excellent. I think you've probably got a hang of it a little bit. Here is your assignment. You're going to do page 607, lesson 7-1, numbers 1 through 10. That is your assignment. If you'd like a little bonus, you can do page 171, numbers 6 through 10, and I'll give you some extra credit. So again, page 607, lesson 7-1, numbers 1 through 10. And on that one, let's check. I think you're going to be following the directions as given in the book. Yes, all you have to do is find the gerund. And then page 171, numbers 6 through 10 for extra credit, like we had worked the samples. Have a great Monday. Bye.